So Kelly, the last time I saw you was just a few weeks ago at your 20th anniversary Athens party.
Yes.
Marking 20 years since 2 gold medals. Can you believe that was 20 years ago?
No, I feel very old.
And just watching those videos back of you at Athens, I mean, it's just unbelievable how in both races, really, you come from behind. You think she's not going to do it.
But I suppose it's like anything, isn't it? You know, you learn from things that have gone right, wrong, you have the resilience, you have passion or want something enough.
You use the word resilience, and that is definitely a word that springs to mind for me, and certainly my menopause journey,
Yes.
which has taken lots of twists and turns in recent years as I've started to navigate perimenopause. What has all of that been like for you?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because so many women that we talk to have gone on completely different journeys. So I had no idea, other than the fact the hot flushes and the sweats were, there was anything else involved with this sort of menopause word. I started getting really bad body aches to the point where I couldn't even do one press up because the pains going through my wrists were just excruciating. And clearly, as someone who keeps herself fit, that got me a little bit low. It got me worried because I didn't know why that was happening, but also quite low just because I use fitness as a tool for my mental health as much as my physical health, and I have done for a few years.
I think I've got my sleep sort of better under control, because that was the one that was not good for quite a while. And actually exercise, lifestyle changes that I've made. I think I really like to take a holistic approach at my well-being.
Yeah.
I think if there was one thing that I wish I had known, it would be to seek help earlier. And I think there is a little bit of kind of confusion and perhaps like shame. And it was actually for me through a conversation similar to this with Gabby Logan, where she was describing her symptoms when she was 47. And I remember sat there thinking, oh my gosh, the brain fog, the anxiety. I've just turned 47 as well. This is a few years ago. And I think that I might be perimenopause. And she turned around and said to me, I think you probably are if you're ticking those off. And it was that penny dropping moment. And she gave me a piece of invaluable advice, which was to call up my GP and to ask for an appointment with the menopause expert. And that was a game changer, because I had actually been to the doctor before to talk about anxiety and feelings of overwhelm I was having. So I was very close to burnout for some time, I think, before I reached a kind of point where I actually sought help.
When people tell you you could have body aches, it could lead to a bit of depression, and I'd been through a lot of mental health problems. So at the time I was quite struggling with my mental health, so I don't know what was what. So again, it became quite confusing. And then there was like sleeping was really disruptive. I remember a few of our friends, we started a WhatsApp group at 3 o'clock in the morning because there was about 5 of us was going, no, we're awake, wide awake, you know, and we were just laughing at it at the time until I realised that insomnia was one of the symptoms. We get a bit confused with our life changes and then at this stage of life, and they're quite sort of interlinked sometimes. And you know, I was reading up on why am I waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and a lot is associated to bereavement as well, and I'd lost my mum, and so I kept looking at that thinking, well, you know, obviously there's still something in that. But then when you then look at insomnia, it's hard to get to sleep as well.
And it does come, though, at a time of life when lots of people are juggling lots of different things. And I think one of my main symptoms was on the mental side. It was anxiety and overwhelm, and I blamed all of that on my job and the busyness of life. And it was only when I went
Could be both, right?
Yeah, it is a little bit of everything, isn't it? Which makes it so seemingly hard to navigate.
Many women have suffered before us, and I just don't want people to continue that now. So the more of us that can talk, and like I say, people know me of being a world-class athlete, but at the end of the day I'm still human, and you still have bodies that need to be supported. So the fact is, I think people shouldn't give up on themselves. They shouldn't think that's what they're going to have for the rest of their life to suffer, because you can control it. And I feel stronger than I have felt in probably the 20 years since I've retired. So I'm on a good place mentally and physically, but that's because I've taken control of the feelings that I had.